Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings about looking forward and looking back because January is named after Janus, which is the name of the god that has a face looking in both directions. So we are looking forward to the new year and we're looking back at the old year. And we are, for that purpose, using the Smith Tarot deck, the Smith-Rider-Waite, and we have 4 piles of 2 cards. So each of these, we're going to have a looking forward, looking back. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. We're going to be using some clay runes. They are like a terracotta color. They're not actually, I don't think they're actually terracotta. They're the DOS clay that I made. So I didn't make the clay, but I made the runes out of it. So just Elder Futhark. So feel into the cards. One or more of these will have something, a message for you about looking forward and looking back. Not in that order, I think. I won't be reading it in that order. I'll be reading it looking back and looking forward. But anyway, there we go. So I will put the timestamps in the description and I will see you at the readings. Bye. Hello, card pile number 1 people. So let's start by turning these cards from the Smith deck and see what you're looking back at and what you're looking forward to. So last year, card pile number 1 people, there's a little heart in the cow pattern. Last year, you were a bit of a hermit. You actually, in certain senses, you kept sort of really secluded and just were seeking your own truth, which was very, very important for you. But this year, we're really looking towards being outstanding in our field. Basically just reviewing and just having a look and seeing how we're doing, basically, and just taking care of the things that we need to take care of to make our lives rich. It's kind of like Fehu. So he's just basically outstanding in his field and doing that. So it's sort of, we're going from, last year we're looking for our truth. And this year we're looking forward towards looking at what we've accomplished so far and moving forward from there and sort of bringing things through that are going to be really good for our in a very practical way, like in as far as life goes. I was thinking I was doing like a little half rack in the middle, but I'm thinking I want to start in the middle with like a middle rune instead of like my normal way I do things. So let's see what the middle step is between, like, our pivot point. What's our pivot point for looking forward, looking back and looking forward? I think it's this way. Oh, neat. Okay. And then I'm going to do like a splash between each, I think, using that. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do these. I made this up like right this minute. So that's the looking back part. This is the looking forward part. Ooh, neat. I'm going to have to scooch it in a little bit because I would need one more rune on this side. When I find it, final rune for looking forward. 30 seconds and I'm dumping the bag. There we go. Oh, neat. Okay. Alrighty. Neat. So our central issue for the whole thing, the pivot point at which we stand, is Berkana reversed. Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. This has to do with beginnings and birth. So I'm going to read this a few ways. First of all, you are at a point where you're not ready to do a full beginning yet, but you're sort of looking back. This is why we're doing the whole looking forward, looking back thing, especially for you, because we're sort of backburnering the beginning until we've really reviewed what's happened here, like what happened in the previous year that you're looking back at. When you do start that new beginning, it's going to be very, very, very deep incubation kind of level new beginning. Like you're not going to be like just, all right, rushing forward with a plan. You're going to be like planting a seed kind of thing. So it's going to be deep, deep inside where you're going to start this new beginning. And why does this look like this? I'm going to move this like this so that it's, I hope this isn't, because this happened before where it showed everybody my t-shirt. Okay. I'm not wearing as nice a t-shirt as I was last time. Well, it's nice, but it's not got Minnie Mouse on it. So you're what's pinning the entire thing, the point at which you stand now is where you're not quite ready to move forward with a brand new beginning. You're incubating that new beginning, and it's like a seed that's just starting like deep, but you're also looking back before you start. You're sort of gathering, it's like you're gathering the energy to bloom that seed from what came before. So let's look at what came before. The central issue of what came before, it's really neat because it's like this, is Lagu's reversed. Lagu's is the rune of the water. It has to do with emotion, intuition, and heart. Reversed, it often has to do with dreams. It's looking deep inside for your deep inner heart. It's tuning into intuition. It's addressing negative emotions, like not like to stop them, but just like to look at them. So that's sort of what that whole thing was that you were doing last year, is like, let's really look at that. The reason that started to happen is that you had this epiphany about it. It's like, I got to do this. This is Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. And you had this sense of, this is something that it may even have been coming to light, because this actually reminds me of his lantern. So there was a lot of things coming to light that was like your truth. And you're like, I'm going to go deep and I'm going to look at this. Because it was like, the light was there and it was shining. And you were like, yeah, let's look into this. So that was pretty much what you're looking back at from last year that you were doing. What helped you was you felt very supported. Either you found support last year, or you discovered what support you had, or else you just generally felt that you were in a very supported place. We have Algies, which is the root of the elk, otherwise known as the moose. And this has to do with protection and support. It's upright, so it's around you. It's not even, inner support is implied, but it was like a lot of support around you. And this could have been people, this could have been systems, this could have been just like your setup of like home and work and whatever. But you felt supported to do this. So this was something that you didn't have a problem doing, because you had the support that you felt you needed for it. What didn't help you was we have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm, things that were out of your control, chaos, the things that were dragging you down, the things that were just like, I don't have any control over this. And things are just, it's like crazy, chaotic, mad weather stuff. And that sort of, and, that might have been from internal as well. Like, certainly stuff going on outside of ourselves that is just crazy. But given that our leading up rune is Dagas, which is the breaking of the day, and so there was that sense of it where it reminded me of the lantern. So it was what was being revealed, the revelation, the illumination kind of thing that sort of led you to this. But there's also a sense with Dagas of overwhelm. And that overwhelm may have been what was all going on outside of you that was just crazy. And you're like, that's still happening. And even though I turned into a hermit to look at myself and sort of sort that out within myself, it's still going on out there. However, as far as this being internal, where this is the light that says, come and check this out. And then what isn't helping you is just the fact that inside of you is this wild natural forces, craziness that you may feel like you don't have any control over. And some of it you don't. Like, thoughts are a river. Like, that's very organic. That's not something that you're not telling yourself, I'm going to think this and then I'm going to think that. You can direct like a meditation kind of thing. You can direct like a train of thought where you're actually going to, put it down on paper and make it, and like, I'm going to think about this, and this. But if you just let those thoughts go, it's like the dream stream of, it just goes, and it's just, you can't blame yourself for thinking things that pop into your head, kind of thing. So it's very wild. It's like nature. It is nature. So if that all started to drag you down, what you would do is you just remind yourself how supported you are, again, by people or by things, by systems, and that helped you move forward. So here we are in the middle. Okay, we're gathering the energy from that, and then we're incubating this new seed. And that's what's led us to where we are going to lay our sword down. We're not going to be combative. We're not going to fight things. We're just going to basically start nurturing things. We're going to take care of the things that need to be taken care of. And in that Tivaz here is, Tears Rune, is reversed. In addition to speaking about choosing the peaceful route, Tier always has to do with taking care of things that need to be taken care of. And when it's reversed in the spot that it's in, I would say this is like duties and responsibilities to yourself. This is things that you need to take care of for yourself, even internally for yourself. So this is basically, you had this crazy chaos inside of you that you were worried about, and it was sort of overwhelming, and you wanted to go in and sort that out, and you did a lot of that, and it led to this new beginning that you're deeply beginning. But there's still a lot within you that you need to tend, and it is like a garden. It is like something where you're going to go out and, pull up the weeds and maybe look at the weeds, and maybe some of the weeds aren't weeds, and, look at what you've got growing there and just really assess it and, see where you're at with it, and really just keep an eye on it as it grows, because there are things growing all the time, and it is your choice to tend to nurture certain things and to let other things be pulled, or at least like moved. So that's the kind of thing that's going on looking forward. What's going to help you with that is we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. The gift is always an exchange. It's agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It may be a one-on-one interaction with somebody else, but I'm really seeing this as you take care of yourself, as you look inward and tend that inner garden, you're going to want to be making plans with this. You're going to be wanting to say, okay, I'm going to promise myself that I'm going to keep an eye on this. And if, this kind of thing starts to grow a certain way, I'm going to maybe move it over to another part of the garden. Or if this kind of thing, I'm going to basically nurture this sort of thing where it's actually something that's giving my life richness and feelings of worth. That's what I'm going to nurture. And so it's some decisions that you have to make. What isn't going to help is we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. Ice is the standstill rune. It's basically stillness. In a higher line, I would say it's the stillness through which clarity comes, but in this case, it's just basically, I would say, just freezing in the face of it. You're having this new beginning, and you're feeling a little bit disarmed about things, which is also another read on Tiva's reversed. And when you're facing this and being like that, it's kind of like you may be looking at this and going, this is too much for me to deal with, and you sort of drop your sword, and then you don't do anything, and you become like the ice, and then nothing can grow. So that's not going to help you. If you start to feel yourself like that, bring yourself back up and remind yourself, this is why I'm making plans. This is why I'm setting goals here. This is why I'm not just going at it with no plan. Because if I tried to go at it with no plan, it would be crazy. It would be like I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know how long to spend. I wouldn't, it would either take over everything, or I would feel like I was neglecting one thing while I was working on the other. So this is why the plan is so important in terms of taking care of things and nurturing your inner garden. And what this will lead you to is we have Nauthi's reversed. Nauthi's is the rune of need. It always means tend to your needs, but when it's reversed, it means drop everything and tend to your needs. But look, it's also, these are the two runes that have to do with tending to your needs. This one's tending to duties and responsibilities. This is tending to your needs. And they're both reversed, which says to me, along with this especially, in fact, the only one that's not reversed on this line is Dagaz, and Dagaz has no reversal. So it's just, this is very inner. This whole thing is very inner for you, card pile number 1 people. So all this inner work says to me, this is also inner needs. So you're going to, once you make your plan, you're going to be able to really triage the inner needs that you have, and really just basically you'll know what needs what when, especially if you got the plan in hand. And it will be very much like taking care of a garden, where you're going to see certain things growing up at certain points, certain things are springing up unexpectedly, and you're going to be deciding what to do with those. And it's just basically your inner needs, your inner duties to yourself, like your duties to your inner self. And yeah, that's where it's going to be coming out. Like, as you look forward, it's like, this is what I'm going to work on. This is my garden to tend. So that, card pile number 1 people, is your reading for looking forward, looking back. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card pile number 2 people. So let's get started by turning these cards, looking back and looking forward. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Look at this. How cool is this? So looking back, you find that you've been on a sort of a quest where it was directed towards focusing on very practical matters, possibly finances, possibly just things that are keeping you healthy and grounded and good, just the things that take care of life. And it was sort of just, it wasn't a very like gallopy quest, but it was kind of like, this is my focus is that last year. But looking forward, you're advancing that to where you're just basically, you've discovered the things and now you're nurturing it. I mean, just even look at the landscape. Like, this is fairly barren. And then by the time like you're looking forward, there are already things growing and you are nurturing them. So very much like this is sort of held out like as a future thing. And this is like in your lap. So that's very exciting. Card number 2, people. So let's get some runes down and see how this is going to progress. So the first rune I'm going to put down is where you are now, your central pivot point. Okay, because you've learned a lot about yourself. And now I'm going to do like a joined splash with on either side of the center pivot point. That's the blank rune. To look into this and to see, look at that. That was in the same spot in the last reading I just did. That's cool. Ooh, nice. Alrighty. Where does that go? Nice. Okay. So your central pivot point between looking forward and looking back, between looking forward and between looking back, is Peritho reversed. Peritho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. Whatever's in the lot box was already in the lot box, so it's a surprise to you, but it was always going on. This rune is reversed in this center point, in this pivot point where you actually are inhabiting this minute, which says to me that it's inner. It could be a negative surprise, but I don't feel that right now. Given the context and given what we're doing with this, I see this as something has come to light during this quest that has surprised you by showing you something about yourself that you didn't realize, but that was always the case. And that's going to be key to moving forward to the point where we are nurturing the things that are giving our lives richness and that is giving our lives a sense of worth and just basically grounded and rich and nourishing and nurturing that. So let's start by looking back, because where we are now is I have this realization that I had, this revelation about myself that I didn't realize before, but that was always the case. And from that's what I sort of quested to, and that's what I'm going forward from. So let's look back to start with. The center point of that, what you did last year, was like this big burst of energy. It's like you just looked at everything, like your entire field of vision was illuminated and you had lots of revelations and the sun was shining, and you just like, give it to me, let it all come at me, let me see everything about this as I move forward on this. Daga's rune of the breaking of the day. So leading up to that, we have Ansu's, which is the rune of communication and manifestation. This is something you wanted to bring through. So this is definitely something that you wanted to communicate or express and bring through. And that's where it started last year. But then you brought it through like a whole bunch. I don't see Yira here, but it's a similar sort of thing where you just basically opened up the window to all the light coming in. Not even opened up the window. You went outside and like the blazing light, and it lit everything up and you saw everything and you just really got a good look at everything and everything was revealed. So that's looking back. And because of that, you learned about yourself, that thing. What helped you, we have the blank rune, which is basically being open to what you were being shown, and you were, and that definitely helped you. And you didn't even try to judge it. You didn't even try to like make it be something that it wasn't, which we'll get to. But it was basically you let it all shine on you, and you let your entire field of vision be illuminated, and you looked at it all, and you didn't try to edit it. You looked at it, you took it in, and you looked at what was there. You were open to it. The other thing the blank rune is about is a connection to the divine, whatever the divine is for you, whether this is nature, whether this is higher self, whether this is, the universe, whether this is a deity, any of that, but it's a connection to the divine. So that helped you to keep your judgment from it. Like, you looked at all of this and you're like, okay, this is what it is. And I'm going to really get a good look at what it is. Now, what didn't help you, and you may have been tempted to do it, is Ingvaz here, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey. Frey is the fertility god, and this has to do with active creation. So, under normal everyday circumstances, we see a thing and we make a snap judgment, because we don't really have much time to make, to sit down and with something, or at least we don't feel that we do. So if you see something, if you observe something, your brain is already going, okay, well, that usually means this, so that's what it means, and on we go. But you didn't do that, because if you had done that, that wouldn't have helped. And the times that you did do that, you generally, sometimes you were lucky and sometimes the judgment was correct. But very often, if you did that snap judgment when you're looking at all these things that you don't have any context for, just like this grand illumination of everything, you were in a situation where you were like, I tried to make this be something that it wasn't, and it wasn't that thing. Or even if you made a snap judgment, but there was more to it than what you were just judging based on, what you were trying to make it be. So anytime that was happening, you bring yourself back up to, no, I'm just going to be open to this, and I'm going to trust that what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing, except I want to make sure that I'm not making it be anything that it isn't. And from there, you learned a lot about yourself, and that's where you're standing now. Looking forward, from here, as leading up to this, your central thing in looking forward, again, I just had this in exactly the same spot. We have Tivaz reversed. Tivaz is Tyr's rune. Tyr is the warrior god, and he has to do with, in addition to that connotation with, giving his name to Tuesday, which is Mars's day in the Latin-based languages. So, but even Mars, Mars isn't entirely war. Mars is not Aries. Mars has like an agricultural component. So it's not like, even with that, it's not entirely the warrior god. It's basically, the war was a way to decide balance, like to have balance show itself, to have, the divine balance appear. It's like when you make all your icons on your phone wiggle and then you can move them around. So similar kind of thing. So it shakes things up. So the ways I'm going to read Tivaz reversed here is, first of all, you may feel a bit disarmed moving forward, but second, this may be you choosing a path of peace. As you have this revelation about yourself, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to fight this. I'm just going to lay my sword down on this. I may feel a little disarmed by doing that, but I'm just going to basically choose peace on this. The other thing this is tending to duties and responsibilities. Tyr was the only one who took care of the Fenrir, the Loki's wolf son. Well, one of them, the one that went on. We won't do mythology at the moment. So anyway, because the other one he didn't make, it was a kid, and then they turned him into a wolf. Anyway, okay, so he was the only one who was taking care of Fenrir because it had to be done, and so he has to do with taking care of duties and responsibilities. And the fact that it's reversed means that it's inner. It's like towards yourself. So this is you taking care of responsibilities that are yours, not necessarily outer. It's like more of an inner kind of thing. And that's sort of your focus going into looking forward, is like, the last one was like, show me everything. And the next one, looking forward, is, okay, I'm going to work with this. I'm going to take care of these as duties and responsibilities to nurture this, to bring this through. What is going to help you is focus. We have Kaunas reversed. Kaunas is the rune of the torch or the fire. And this has to do with, when it's upright, it's expansion. It's something that starts like an ember and goes into a blaze. But when it's reversed, it's honing a focus. You're eliminating distractions. You're basically, you know what you want to do, and you are basically delivering your focus to that. You're shining that light very, very sharply on that, and you are eliminating what you don't need in that picture in order to do that. What isn't helping you, what isn't going to help you as you move forward, is Algi's, which is the rune of protection and support. It's the elk, otherwise known as the moose. It's a very positive rune, and it's upright in the negative spot, and that generally speaks of a fear of that thing. So you may feel like you are going this alone. You may feel like, where's my support, guys? You know, you may feel like nobody's helping me bake this bread or whatever else you're doing, you plant this garden. So that may drag you down. You may feel resentful and you may feel like, you know, where is everybody? But that's actually fine because you are able to do this. You just need to hone that focus and you will know what you are doing. It would be nice to have people to help, and I'm sure you won't be completely alone, but in terms of what you are doing, and it is a thing that you are doing for you, I mean, it's Tivaz is reversed, so it's your personal duties and responsibilities to yourself. There's a certain component of it that only you can do. And so just bring your focus back to the task at hand. And what this is going to lead you to is we have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is upright, so it's an open door. And this will allow you to cross that threshold into this moment where you're sort of hovering in the middle going, you know, I have this thing I have to do. I sure wish I had some support in this, guys. But I can focus on this and I'm going to move forward, and I have these duties and they are mine to take care of. And then it becomes your challenge that you are going to take care of and that you embrace and that you step through the door of into this gorgeous garden where you are nurturing this nourishing, rich stuff that you're bringing up, bringing through into the world that you started before with this quest over here. So that card pile number 2, people, is your reading for looking forward, looking back. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3, people. Hello, card number 3, people. I'm not sure. I was looking at the counter and it didn't seem to start right away. Welcome. We are doing looking forward, looking back. Let's start with turning the cards. Looking back, we are looking at, oh my gosh, more pentacles. We just had pentacles. And looking forward, oh my gosh, it's Pentacle Day. So this is lovely because look at this. So looking back, you were starting something out that had to do with perhaps finances, perhaps something very practical, something to do with living. And this is something you were just willing to and eager to start out with. And this is something you started back there. But looking forward, look at what this is leading you to. You are able to, what you started here, you are now able to share with others. And that's really exciting. And I'm really proud of you and I'm inspired. So I honor your journey. So let's get some runes down. We are going to, neat. We're going to start with a rune in the middle. This is your pivot point. This is the point between looking back and looking forward. This is the point at which you're looking back and looking forward. And then I'm going to build little splash readings. Did I get is this getting terracotta stains on my beautiful cow pattern? Oh well, I'll just wash it after. That's okay. Oh my gosh, blank rune again. Neat. Okay. This is the moment of silence while I'm taking all the runes in. Okay. Neat. And new beginnings for everybody. So our central pivot point for looking forward, looking back is Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. Reversed, I always read it immediately 3 ways. First of all, letting go of things that no longer serve you. Second, stepping out of your comfort zone. And third, finding a sense of home within. So really, it's like this part you were doing yourself, and then moving forward is where you take it out on the road kind of thing. So let's read this and see what happened with it. So the central point of looking back is this beautiful breaking of the day. We have Dagaz, which is the breaking of the day. It's the dawn. Just this huge illumination, full revelation, everything flooding in at once. And so I think once you started this quest that you had this idea for, where you were going to start this thing, where it had to do with perhaps finances, perhaps practical things, something that can help other people, something about life and living, something very grounded and practical, down to earth. this became a quest of yours, because we have, leading up to Dagaz here, we have Tivaz, which is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god, so a lot of it is like driving forward on this quest energetically. But it also has to do with taking care of things that need to be taken care of. So this is why this totally represents, like, this totally resonates with this being a very practical quest. You know, this wasn't something super lofty. It was lofty, but it wasn't lofty like not grounded. It was a really good idea that could help, starting with you, starting taking care of things that you needed to have taken care of. And then once you started it, everything flooded in. You got your full illumination for your entire field of vision about this. And things just started to just come in on that. What helped you was, we have the blank rune, which is being open to what was coming. So just basically not resisting what was coming in. I mean, that's the whole thing is, you can wish for things, but unless you're ready to accept, they may just be waiting at the door, kind of thing. So it was really a matter of just being open to it, allowing it. And there's also a connection to the divine with the blank rune. So whatever the divine is for you, whether that's nature, whether that's, luck or the universe or a deity or any of that kind of thing. But that's sort of where you sort of gave it to that hand. You gave this to those hands and just were open to it. You just trusted that what was going to come through was going to be what needed to, and you received it. You allowed it. What didn't help was a resistance, any sort of resistance to this, and putting up a thorn wall to it. Basically, we have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is reversed on the lower line. So part of it was, your self-sabotage of telling yourself how difficult this is. Like, this is an impossible thing. What is happening is impossible. Like, what I'm setting out to do is impossible. Oh no, it's coming in, but what is happening is impossible. And all the things that you set up a thorn wall against would throw up resistance against what was coming in. And what was helping you was, especially when you started to feel like that, it's like, I can't believe this is happening. Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. Then the universe says, okay, then I won't give it to you anymore. So anytime that was happening, when you just said, okay, you know what? No, but it's coming in and I have to trust it. So I'm going to open up to this. I'm going to allow it. And that's when things, continued to flow in and just have, I don't see Lagos. Oh, I do see Lagos here, and it's not in a happy flowy spot. So we'll get to that. But in terms of just this blaze of the energy that was coming in and just pouring in and having all the light and energy and color and vision and everything is there. That was, and what helped it was allowing it just to happen. And this allowed you to reach this point where you were able to let go of things that no longer served you, where you were able to step outside of your comfort zone at this point because you had such abundance, and where you were able to, the reason you're taking it on the road at this point is because you've been able to find a sense of home within yourself because it is reversed. So it's like inner. So from this pivot point, moving forward, out you went into the world with your wealth, whatever the wealth is. Like, it might not be money. It might be money, but then if it is, hooray. But whatever it is, hooray. So you basically have this wealth and worth, this richness that you've accumulated and received. This is Fehu. It's the rune of wealth and worth. It is not in the Elder Futhark specifically money. It is cattle. And this is the wealth that you tend. So these are things that, whenever you are taking care of them, provide you with that sense of worth and that sense of richness in your life. So you're taking that, whatever that turned out to be for you. And out you went with it, with this in mind. This is what you're looking forward to doing, where you're looking forward to sharing this practical stuff that you received. What is going to help you interestingly, because here's you out in the world. What's interesting about it is not, it's tuning out the din, where you are actually sort of following, I guess, whatever, the inner call is. So we have Manaz reversed. Manaz is the rune of humanity and your part in it, and it is reversed on the helping line. So you're basically tuning out the din of humanity. I mean, you go in there, it's like, okay, who wants money? And everybody's like, and you can't hear anything and you have to run away. So that's not what you're going to do. you are just going to go out and share it in a way that you are like exuding it. You're not, I mean, people are coming to you, but it's sort of like you're moving among them and raining it down on them kind of thing. But they are holding, these are the ones who are accepting it as well. So similar to you, where you just allowed it. You became that allowed this to come through. The other thing this is definitely give yourself, as you move forward in this, give yourself that retreat if you need it, especially. Like, have that like written into your day, that you're not always going to be out in it, that you're going to give yourself a sizable amount of retreat that's going to help you replenish and restore your energy levels, because otherwise you will run out. And that's what is not going to help you. We have Lagus, which is the rune of the water, and it's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. If you don't allow yourself this, if you just flow out with all of this richness, you're going to run out and you're going to not have any. And people are going to be like eating your, like, what you're wearing. It's like, that's like, because you don't have, it's like, you were supposed to give me something. So it's like with the old stories about the Fae folk, where, you know, if you don't leave out that offering for them, then they'll take it out of your livestock. So it's definitely, you know, you don't want to, yeah. So don't just, you know, obviously you care. And so obviously this is not just an outpouring of if this is like actually money. If this is just an outpouring of like caring, that can run out. Like just letting your bleeding your heart out, you know, kind of thing. Don't do that. That's not going to help you. You may feel like very noble doing it, but please don't, because we need you to be able to do it more than once. It's like if the golden goose cut off its own head. So don't do that. Bring yourself back up to where you are allowing yourself, first of all, to retreat regularly. Write that into your day so that you can replenish and restore who you are, and so you're able to go out and do these things. But the other thing this is like, don't let other people tell you your path through this. You are going to tell yourself your path through this. And what this is all going to lead you to is a real deep new beginning that you're going to barely feel until you see the seeds of it grow. This is the seed stage of it. So we have Berkana reversed. Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. This has to do with beginnings and birth. Reversed, again, this is like an inner kind of thing. You may want to, I don't really see that in the context of this, though. I was going to say like backburnering a new beginning, but I don't see this because you've already begun it really strongly, and this is what you're looking forward to. So if anything, this is looking back and making sure that you're all caught up with yourself. But mostly I'm seeing this as what you're doing here is going to plant seeds within you that are going to help grow the new you that you are and that you are becoming. It's going to grow this, like you started with this, and it's going to grow this into this. Interesting the use of red with this, because it's like, this is where, you know, you started with this great idea to help with life. And then by the time you get to this point, look at how far down that has extended on what you are wearing as a mental. It's like you're really wearing that in the world. So that's exciting. So that card pile number 3, people, is your reading for looking forward, looking back. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card pile number 4. Look at the little heart. So let's get started. So let's turn these cards. These are the cards that are going to show us what you're looking back at and what you're looking forward to. So looking back, Queen of Wands, and looking forward, the Magician. Ooh, because I was like, how are we going to beat the Queen of Wands? We're not going to beat them, but we're like transforming, we're growing. So that's very exciting. So what you started with was you were nurturing your will. You were nurturing your expression of your will in the world. And it was a very, you know, it was communicative, and it was like, just, you're basically expressing, but it's like you had this thing that you were going to be expressing in the world. But by the time you get to where the Magician is, it's not just this that you were doing. You picked up the other elements along the way, and the other suits along the way. So that's very exciting. It's like started with this. You could start somewhere. So you started with this one power, and then I've got like terracotta stains on this because of this. Oh well, I'll wash it. But then it led you to all of them. So it's your path through all of them. So what I'm going to start with is a rune in the middle that's going to be your pivot point. It's basically the center point of the entire. Of both of these. The point at which you're standing now where you're looking forward and looking back. Ooh, expansively. And then I'm going to build the looking back splash reading on that. And then I'm going to build the looking forward splash reading on that. Neat. This is a neat journey. Card pile number 4 people. Yes. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay, your central pivot point, at the point at which you are standing at this point where you are looking forward and looking back, that point is Kaunas, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. And this has to do with something that starts small like an ember and goes into a blaze, so it's expansion and opening out, but it's also directing a focus. It's like opening out your focus. So as I said, you started with one element, which is the fire and the expression of will in the world. And this led you to all of it. So at this point, it's like you sort of mastered this bit, and it's like, okay, what else can I do? And letting things open out with that. So it's very exciting. So that's where you're at now, is like, I am at a point where I'm willing to open out, and I'm ready to open out. I am opening out. So looking back, central point of looking back, we have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health and stubbornness in terms of resistance. Reversed, it's inner strength, it's inner resilience, and it's lifting up your hooves and allowing a thing. So I think a lot of this was, I'm going to allow myself this, basically. Leading up to this, we have Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. So something revealed itself to you, like something came to light. You had an epiphany. You had suddenly, your entire field of vision was filled with something, and you said, you know what? What might I be able to do? What might I be capable of? And so you started with, I have my will. I'm going to open that up. Because the Uruz is very that associated, very strong-willed animal. So inwardly, you are looking at that as well, how you are inwardly very strong and strong-willed. And that's what you're sort of bringing through. But at the same time, in that it is reversed in the central point on this, it's also allowing this to come through. What helped you at that point is, interestingly, really getting a sense of where you belong, in terms of like not where you belong, like your place, but your part in the song, where in all of humanity your notes come, like where you fit in, like find that sense of belonging in the world and what you're bringing to the world and what you're offering to the world, what you're bringing through that nobody else can bring through. And that really, really helps you to find that resonance with this element that you were working with. What didn't help you is we have Barkana, which is the rune of the birch tree. This has to do with beginnings and birth. Is this hesitation of beginning, this new beginning that you're doing? Because, we get our it's not so much stagnation, but we get into our rut, we get into our routine. And if you want to start something new, it's like suddenly it's huge, even if it's not huge, even if it's just letting out what's already inside of you. But it's just this worry about that. 'Cause this is a very positive rune in a negative spot. So it's a worry about beginning. So you're a bit worried about this new beginning. This was almost overwhelming when this came to you, this epiphany. And that's what carries over to what wasn't helping you. It's just this sense of overwhelm. And it's like, this is too much. This is too big for me. I can't birth this. But you weren't being asked to birth this on somebody else's terms. You birthed this on your terms. And that made all the difference. So you were able to allow it because what you were allowing was for yourself to step into your place in the grand dance of the universe. And that's why it worked. And that's why you were able to allow it. That's what helped you. And this, once you did that, and you felt comfortable with that, then you were like, okay, what else? What else can I do? What else can I bring through? I'm going to open up even more and allow even more through. So this is your pivot point. Let's open up more. Let's let more of who I truly am and in the world, where I can do the most, where I am here and meant to be, and where I belong in the world to bring things through in only the way that only I can. What else can we open up and allow through? So at that point, the center part of looking forward is Pertho, which is the rune of the lot box. Now, whatever's in the lot box was always in the lot box. So it's a surprise. It's the same thing that here, it's like, what's inside me, I'm going to open up and allow it to flow through. And it's like, open it up more. What else can I allow to flow through? And if this was completely inner work, I would say, this would be reversed, because reversed would be inner. But this is outward. This is you opening up to the world with more and more of who you truly are. And the more you do that, the more powerful you are. Not in like a grr, arg power, but in just basically your natural power that brings light into the world. So what's going to help you with that is we have Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. It is not money yet. It doesn't become money until the next Futharks. So at this point, it's cattle. And so what it is the wealth that you tend. These are the things that, as long as you take care of them and nurture them and make sure they have everything they need, will in your life bring you that sense of worth, that sense of richness. And this is what is going to help you the most here. As you're opening up more, and as you're allowing yourself to be surprised by the things that are inside you to give to the world and to be in the world and to express in the world, what is going to help you is taking care of those things that keep you feeling of worth and keep you feeling, worthy and keep your life feeling rich. What isn't going to help you is we have Algiz, which is the rune of the elk, otherwise known as the moose, and this has to do with protection and support. And just like Berkana, very positive rune in the negative spot, it's a worry about that. And this is you, so really only you can make this journey, but there is going to be a bit of resentment that's like, nobody is supporting me in this. I have to do this myself, and it's kind of annoying because, it'd be nice to have... it's not necessarily that you're only doing this yourself. I'm sure friends could help you, and don't worry about that because this is in the lower spot. So it's like, if you're worrying about that, probably not going to help you. Turn to friends, turn to support systems because they will help you. So don't be afraid to do that as you open out, especially, and as you integrate these other aspects of yourself that were always yours, but that you hadn't noticed. So... and that will help you tune into what is worthy. It may be just a simple thing of one of your friends going, you are worth it, because they know. And so it's like that. And what this will all lead you to is we have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. Often I will read this as, chaos, things that are out of your control, but I really see this as your true nature, becoming the force of nature that you are. And look at this gorgeous path. Like, this is like, from this point where you've decided to open out, this is your pivot point now. But it leads you to, like, what led to this is like, you had this realization that you have all this power. So you not only looked to your inner strength and your inner resilience, but you actually opened up and allowed it to start to come through. It started to come through, and then you were like, what else can I do? What else is in there? And you opened the box up more, and more of it started to come through. And the more you took care of the things that keep you feeling healthy and, keep you feeling of worth and rich in life, the more this was able to come through. And what this led to was a real sense of your true nature, a real sense of the power that you have, and ultimately you will feel like there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't face. You have access to your full power at this point. So that's what you're looking forward to, is just having access to all that power and not even worried about it. Like, not even, it's all to hand. It's all right in front of you, and you're between earth and sky, and as above, so below, and just, you're totally in a good place. So that's awesome. I'm really proud of you. That's very exciting. So, card number 4, people, that is your reading for looking forward, looking back. I wish you all the best for this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello. I have an announcement. Next Sunday, the 19th, can you see this? I don't think you can see this. But anyway, the 19th of January, I will be reading runes in person at the Plant Mystic at 257 Danforth Avenue in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So come and check it out if you want to. It's fun. There's lots of amazing readers there and all kinds of things. And there's actually stuff going on the 18th as well that are like sessions and workshops. It's going to be cool. So definitely, if you're feeling like that, come on out. There's other ones throughout the year, so I'll do a little announcement about those. I'm sorry I don't have Banner the Announcement Zebra with me. She's in the bedroom. I forgot that I was going to be doing this, so there we are. So definitely wanted to let you all know that. It's exciting. It's a fun time to be had, and that's my message. Take care till next time. Bye.